good. It became the frequency of the culture. It's how our ears are tuned.
It was such a unique sounding drum machine that it really affected the way we wrote the songs.
When the 808 came out, it's something that I could actually program the beats in my head and put rolls and stuff in it. Oh, man.
That's the sound I want.
What's crazy about it, it's 40 years old, it still sounds fresh. You go for the 808.
It's going to continue to evolve.
I always say Roland put the boom in music because they gave us an opportunity to use the boom.
The idea of going to see live music feels far out in the future, but when we get the green light to go, will the clubs and halls that host concerts still be there? Eyewitness News reporter Eric Kazuko shares why some venues say they need help now to reopen then.
It's the little things, like empty signposts along the St. Mary's Strip and a quieter road in front of Floors in Helotes, that embody the big hit live music venues say they're taking.
We're completely closed since mid-March. Zero revenue.
You can blame it on the times, but many independent venues worry their industry will see extended impact.
We are going to be the last to open it, and when we open, we're probably still going to be a long way from returning to what our normal is.
To reopen it all, venues will need to make changes, and if those include reduced capacity or physical renovations, many could find themselves down and out.
And there's just no real path forward immediately to really have those type of events, standing room only on a large scale, anytime in the next year. Really.
That's why National Independent Venue Association Texas Precinct Captain Blaine Tucker says owners are petitioning for changes and ongoing aid for live music venues, including dozens in Texas.
We want to ensure flexible loan forgiveness, allowing PPP funds to be used for overhead, mortgage, rent, utilities.
They're asking for live music lovers to show their support to legislators and local leaders.
Live music and these venues are such a big part of the cultural fabric of communities. I think there's a lot of people that would like to not see those go away.
But the challenges won't end when these locks are back off, and they hope Texans will pull together to help keep them here. Eric Kazuko, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Well, this week, Senator John Cornyn introduced legislation set to give relief to music venues that have been shuttered since the pandemic. With concert tours postponed by up to a year, they are unable to rely on PPP loans as part of the CARES Act. Fox 4's David Sintendry tells us more about the bill and also how it could help the venues. David.
Yeah, Heather, and there is a bit of foot traffic here in Deep Ellum tonight, but that's mostly for restaurants. As we all know, bars are still closed per the governor's order. The thing is, once bars are allowed to legally reopen, ones classified specifically as music venues are still going to be months behind.
They say the music never stops at Deep Ellum Art Company.
We're actually open 7 days a week, so we're booking shows 7 days a week.
But once the pandemic hit, it did.
Watching the calendar, dates just fall like dominoes.
John LaRue and his wife started the venue a few years ago.
This business isn't just us, it's so many people in this community.
He says they were just starting to turn a profit, but now they're barely hanging on.
The tunnel seems really, really long. I don't see any light at the end of it yet.
Now, a glimmer of hope. Newly introduced bipartisan legislation might help independent music venues across the country.
It's an attempt to fill a gap that I think is in need of being filled.
Business attorney Mishti Deb is talking about the Save Our Stages Act, a bill co-authored by Republican Texas Senator John Cornyn and Democratic Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, that, if passed, would establish a $10 billion grant program that's geared toward live venues.
And small businesses that qualify are going to qualify for 45% of their 2019 operating costs.
Deb says the Small Business Administration's PPP loan program didn't exactly help music venues in the way it did some other small businesses.
Because PPP is designed on retaining employment and keeping businesses open through the next 2 months.
Governor Greg Abbott closed Texas bars for now, but the pandemic has forced a number of Dallas music venues, like Lizard Lounge, to close for good. The ones still holding on might be the last ones to get back on track.
If you don't have the wheels turning, if you don't have the register ringing and the tickets selling, you go backwards so quickly.
That's because venues book bands months in advance. So once bars reopen, it'll be a while before touring bands can take center stage.
And all the holds that we're getting for concerts are mostly starting in 2021 now.
Still, LaRue is grateful that legislation could help.
I mean, I'd say there's nothing left to do but smile, 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 but you can't see it behind the mask. You just have to read the eyes these days.
Senator Cornyn says the culture around Texas dance halls and live music has shaped generations, and he adds that this legislation would give them the resources to open their doors. We'll see what happens next. Heather?
All right, is the mic working now? Sorry about the technical difficulties. Is our Rollin' 808 celebration also a benefit independent venue? To help support in the hey, a little bit. All I was going to say is if people don't get to watch the stream today and you have friends who want to donate, we'll sidebar. So much for your support, all the music fans between live. Without further ado, I'm going to give you our first artist of the act.